Have you ever poured your soul into everyone else and left nothing for yourself? Have you ever been the one people run to, only to find no one there when you fall apart? This is the story of a man who gave endlessly until he had nothing left to give, not even to himself. And it wasn't until he shattered inside that he discovered a truth powerful enough to change everything. In a quiet village, wrapped in green fields and whispering trees, lived a man named Arif. He wasn't wealthy, he wasn't famous, but his heart, it was bigger than the entire village. If someone lost their cow, Arif was already searching. If a roof cracked, Arif was already fixing it. If hunger struck, he gave his food away, even when his own stomach was empty. People would smile and say, "Arif is the soul of this village." But they never saw the truth. Behind that kindness was exhaustion. Behind that smile was silence. And deep inside, Arif was breaking alone. Every morning, before even thinking about himself, he carried water to the old widow Amina. Then he repaired his neighbor's broken fence. And when the sun climbed high, he worked the fields until it disappeared again. Day after day, giving, giving, giving until there was almost nothing left. When he finally dragged himself home, the truth was waiting for him. His house was falling apart. The roof sagged, the walls were splitting, dust covered everything. He looked around, exhausted, and whispered, "Tomorrow I'll fix it tomorrow." But tomorrow never came. One evening, a boy came sprinting toward him, panic in his voice. "Uncle Arif, my father's ox fell into a pit. Please come." Arif didn't hesitate. He ran, he pulled, strained, pushed past his limits until the animal was free. Cheers erupted around him. Gratitude filled the air, but that night, silence followed him home. Halfway there, the world began to spin. His legs trembled, his chest felt unbearably heavy. He reached his door and collapsed. For 2 days, Arif lay there weak, burning with fever, barely able to move. He waited, surely someone would come. Amina, a neighbor, anyone. No one did, because to them, Arif was always somewhere, helping someone else. No one imagined he could be the one in need. Staring up at his broken ceiling, he whispered with a shattered voice, "I gave everything and now, there's no one left for me." Tears slid silently down his face. On the 3rd day, a wandering monk entered the village. He found Arif lying near his door, pale, drained, barely holding on. The monk knelt beside him, offered water, and spoke softly. "Tell me, why are you suffering here all alone?" Arif forced a faint smile and whispered, "Because I spent my life saving everyone else. I forgot to save myself." The monk's eyes softened. "My son, you cannot keep lighting other people's lamps when your own flame has already died." Arif said nothing, he just listened. The monk leaned closer and continued, "Love is powerful, but only when it begins within. You can't keep giving when there's nothing left inside you." Those words didn't just reach Arif. They hit him the next morning. Everything changed. His body was still weak, but his mind was awake for the first time in years. And for once, he chose himself. He cleaned the dust that had been ignored for too long. He repaired the roof that had nearly collapsed over him. He brought life back, planting flowers outside his door. And every evening, he sat quietly by the river, watching the sun fall, something he had never allowed himself to do before. People began to talk. Arif has changed. He doesn't help like he used to. But Arif only smiled, calm and certain, and said, I never stopped helping. I just finally started with myself. Days turned into weeks, and Arif was no longer the same man. His face carried light, his steps held strength. When people came asking for help, he didn't always say yes. Sometimes he paused and said, let me finish what I must, then I'll come at first. They didn't understand, but slowly they saw it. RF wasn't colder. He was wiser, not distant. Just finally whole, still kind. But no longer empty, and without saying much. He taught the entire village a lesson they would never forget. One evening, Amina came to visit him, her eyes warm with respect. She said softly, you've changed how we see love, Arif. We thought it meant giving everything away. Now we understand, it must include ourselves too. Arif smiled, peaceful and certain. When you truly care for yourself, the love you give others becomes real, complete and unbroken, and just like that, the village began to transform. People still helped each other, but now they also protected their own hearts. Their homes felt warmer, their lives felt lighter. Peace didn't just exist, it grew. One quiet evening, Arif sat by the river as the sky burned orange. The water reflected a calm he had never known before. He closed his eyes and whispered, now, I see it clearly. Choosing yourself first isn't selfish. It's where real love begins. Never forget this. You can't pour from an empty heart. You can't truly love if you've abandoned yourself. Rest when you need to, heal when it hurts. Choose yourself. Again and again. Because the world doesn't need your exhaustion. It needs your light. If this story spoke to something inside you, share it with someone who gives too much. And follow for more stories that strengthen, not just your English, but your life.